This week, a mother's nightmare plays out in front of her eyes. But a quick-thinking restaurant owner acts quickly and thoroughly. Tonight, we go Florida in the West End of Johannesburg, in a local pizza place. Our hero saves the day and stops an attempted child snatching.
Hi, my name is Dishal Suku from Johannesburg. I'm a family man. I've got 2 kids. I'm a martial arts coach and entrepreneur. I've been a martial artist all my life since I was a little kid. All martial arts is based on the Bushido codes, which is respect and honor, integrity. Being a restaurateur, it's long hours. It was a very family-orientated restaurant. Mums, dads just come with their kids, have a milkshake, grab a pizza. So the family that the incident happened to was actually a very regular family. They used to come in all the time on the weekend, come on the evenings.
My name is Isaac Banda. 2 years back, I was working in Florida, Godman Crossing at Peter's shop. Would share our former boss. Is good guy, the person who understands and to me was very nice guy.
On Spring Day in 2020, customers were enjoying a lunch at restaurant at Dishal. Little did they know what would unfold.
Over. Sivule restaurant yethu good mood, beautiful day.
It was a normal day at the restaurant, obviously making sure there's enough stock, making sure the customers are fine. It was a pretty busy day. For that day, I had my parents there, and my dad and I were sitting outside.
My name is Joseph Ntumba. The job I'm doing is a car guard, to look after the car and to look also after the customer. Actually, it was the accident, it was happened on Thursday to my post where I was standing. And then I hear some noise from the robot. I said, let me look at it, because it was not from the shopping center, it was outside.
So the noise that we heard outside was a bit of shouting, and there was sort of a bang, and we weren't sure what was it, because it wasn't an accident, so it was something being hit, or that was the noise that we heard coming from outside.
For a man like Dishal, who is trained in self-defense, this moment was surely at the back or the front of his mind. Good thing, because the strange man was not done yet.
A minute later, I saw someone walking into the shopping center, and he was a bit loud. And as he walked in, he started to run. And when he started to run into the shopping center, obviously my guard was up. And when he got towards the restaurant, he turned towards the restaurant, and he ran straight towards us.
When I see the action there, the guy is coming. I thought maybe the guy want to come to shopping, but when I look at him nicely, he jumped away the customer, they was having some supper or whatever.
I was busy prepping the food by the kitchen, so we got a small window. We sent food through that window. Then we saw that man jumping in, then we noticed that something is wrong.
It's a barricaded area, but he ran straight towards that and leaped over. And as soon as he leaped over, I knew that this guy is up to no good. Because my first instinct was, he's probably coming for a cell phone, he's coming for a bag, or he's coming to steal something. But at no point did I ever think he was coming to kidnap a child.
Coming up, a child in distress, a mother in distress, customers confused, and Dishal acts decisively. Restaurant owner Dishal Soku sits in his restaurant with his father while customers enjoy lunch. A man acting strangely has been spotted, but nobody thinks much of it. Danger is lurking and customers are completely unaware. What they don't know is that the danger is targeted at a small child who is dining with her mother. In SA, one child goes missing every 5 hours. A horror that organization Missing SA deals with daily.
Kidnappings in South Africa have definitely spiked over the last 2 years. The ransoms and the extortion does suggest that it has become a lucrative business in South Africa. Stats that have been released by the South African Police Services do suggest that only 5% of kidnappings are normal kidnappings. The rest are made out of hijackings and robberies that occur. Children are specifically targeted when you have custody battles. You have your muti rituals. Children are also targeted because a parent will do anything to get their children back, no matter what the ransom is. Watching the video is very traumatic. I shudder to think what the parents must have gone through. That is why we need to be vigilant when we are at public places. In this case, the culprit was in sight. They were aware of him. So the owner of the restaurant was able to act on what was actually happening.
So as soon as I saw him jump over the railing, I stood up because I knew he's up to no good. So I guess my instincts just took over. I thought he's going for a cell phone. And when I saw his hands reach for the girl's neck, I knew that he's definitely after this girl or he wants to hurt this girl. The only thought that went through my mind is I need to help this girl or just protect her.
By the kitchen, we saw that maybe they are fighting of something, this misunderstanding. Because we were shocked that what is going on? Our boss is fighting with the customer or what?
I use a technique called a rear naked choke, and it was the safest way that I could do to actually control the situation without me throwing a punch or kicking him. I went behind him, did a rear naked choke, controlled the situation, took him to the ground, and as soon as I did that, I knew that the girl would be free.
For martial arts instructor Norman, having an instinct for these things is in his blood.
My name is Norman Wessels. My martial arts expertise is MMA or mixed martial arts. To suss out or to be observant of a potential threat or sussing out an environment that doesn't seem natural does take training. People that can most benefit from self-defense or martial arts skills is everyone that is possibly a little bit smaller, children especially. So we can start them with 3.5 years old, and just with playful patterns where they can start developing the neurological pathways to identify how things happen and how it can happen, and just develop a natural instinct around how to evade certain situations.
The show he saw the incident happen. He jumped and grabbed him by the neck, like you see. And this guy was not expected that he can be grabbed like that.
The technique that Tushal implemented in that instance, called the rear naked choke, as well as the body lock, where he secured the hips down where the person couldn't move, as well as put the choke on to, it's basically called an asphyxiation submission, is where you cut off blood flow to the brain and they're therefore cutting off oxygen to the brain, so you can't breathe and your brain can't function, so you start losing motor skills and you can't respond or act violently.
It's no use pulling onto the child will get hurt. You need to attack the perpetrator. So after I held him down for that few seconds, authorities then showed up, which were, the first on scene was the local authorities, which were the security guards at the shopping center. So they arrived, they took control of him, they split us up and they took control. Then CPF arrived. Once they arrived, I stepped away from the situation because then they took him out of the restaurant, did what they needed to do, arrested him, and obviously called the cops.
Yo, my fate. This is a young child, grabbed by the neck. Surely this is an act of madness.
What has happened in this incident is not a common occurrence. Kidnapping syndicates are normally well organized. They know your movements, they know your history. This case has ended happily for the family. There are cases that have ended very tragically, with families that have to sit with the trauma for years to come.
My name is Kayla Mentor. I'm currently 27 years old and I am Liakita Kim's mother. In March of 2018, my son Liakita Kim went missing. My son Liakita Kim wasn't taken from me by a stranger. He was taken from me by someone I knew, which was my boyfriend at the time. And till this day, I don't know where Liakit is. Before my son Liaquat went missing, it was a bit difficult because I did have issues with my stepdad. That's when I met Onke Mashinini. We spoke for a while and then we ended up dating. So he actually became fond of Liaquat and Liaquat also became fond of him because they did grow a bond, you know, and Liaquat did take him as a father figure and he also ended up calling him daddy at one point. And, you know, for me, sorry. I found a partner and someone who would love Liaquat as their own. I was only staying with Onke and his parents for 2 weeks. In the second week was when the incident happened. It was the 15th of March. That was basically the last day I saw Liaquat. It was the Thursday morning. I told my mother that we need to call the police because Liaquat is gone, he's missing.
In Kayla's case, we got a call that evening to say little Lee was missing. We did a missing persons flyer for little Lee. We made sure that it was circulated immediately to make the public aware of the little boy that was missing.
I had to fill out what Liaquat was wearing last and, you know, what he looks like and all of that. So I didn't know what he was wearing last, so I had to now ask Onke in between, you know, what was Liaquat wearing. So Onke got arrested.
Onke, Kayla's boyfriend, was looking after Lee during the day. Lee was going to spend the weekend by his grandmother's house. Kayla was at work that day. Onke took little Lee to Kayla's mother's house. On arrival, there was a car parked in the driveway. A lady came out. She said to Onke that the grandmother wasn't by the house and that he could leave the child with them because they were going to pick up the grandmother, and little Lee was never seen again.
They did search Onke's mother's place. They did find blood there. So with Liaquat's case, he did get charged with premeditated murder and murder. But the only thing with his sentence is that there was no body that was found. We're still putting out missing posters for Liaquat as well because of the fact that there is no body.
Kayla would often phone, even now, and she would say she thinks she saw Lee here, or she saw Lee there. Can we go and check this area? Can we go check that area? So I also promised Kayla that we would not stop looking for Lee.
There's no closure from our side. So overseas company, I think from Italy, where they did a age progression picture of Liaquat. They did a thing to see what he would look like now. He would be 8 years old now. When I saw the picture, it really made me emotional that day. I cried a lot. But I know the universe has its reasons and its timing for everything, you know. So it's just about having to accept it and just try and move forward.
A pain or experience nobody should ever go through. Crime is a thing we as South Africans have learned to accept, tolerate even. But crimes against children, not acceptable, Buffett. Not ever. When our children are not safe from us, who are we as a people? Who is this man that would run into a restaurant and want to harm a defenseless child?
So in this incident, the perpetrator was a well-known addict. It is alleged that he was actually chased by beggars and he ran into the restaurant to use the child as a shield.
When we come back, Dishal goes viral and we take you through some must-know self-defense moves. Sensei Dishal Suku, put his body on the line to save a child from an attempted snatching. A chokehold and a grapple later, the perpetrator was immobilized.
It was a traumatic experience for the child. She sat inside the restaurant for about an hour just crying. And we tried to console her. Her mom was there. Her dad arrived as well. So we tried to keep the family as calm as we could.
I was feeling sorry for the child because it's like she was not expected that such thing, because she was thinking on my thoughts that I'm with my parents, so I'm well protected, understand? But she calmed down until she stopped to cry.
The video from Dishal's restaurant CCTV camera soon found its way onto the interwebs.
I don't know how it got out there, if someone caught hold of it or how they got hold of it. But all I know is I just started getting calls, and from my friends and family, and starting to tell me what a great heroic act I've done. And then I couldn't believe how fast it went viral, and it went viral across South Africa and the entire world. What I've done is not for the fame or for glory. It was done as a pure act of my heart. I don't think you can prepare for something like that. You cannot say I should have done it better. I think what happened just needed to happen the way it needed to happen. And she's okay, the small girl's okay.
I don't know if ordinary is how I'd describe Dishal. This guy is a breathing, living hero in our midst. But don't take my word for it.
What the owner of the shop he was doing very good, because he showed himself as an example to helping his customer, which means he showed like a customer service, customer care. Actually, if he didn't stop the criminal, and then probably the child was have a chance to go away.
For me, that was like really heartwarming, because a lot of the times, like, people, they don't like want to get themselves involved in situations. If the tables were reversed, you would want someone to help you as well. You know, so people just shouldn't just, you know, be bystanders or take out their phones and immediately start taking videos of what's going on. You know, they need to actually physically help, especially when there's a child involved. I don't think we even teach our children self-defense and how to fight back when they're being taken or being grabbed from behind, you know. So us as adults, because we know better, we need to speak to each other and help each other and teach our children as well that, you know, you need to do this.
I like his style, what he did, because he saved this child, and the parents, they were very happy on an unexpected situation, and we didn't know that he can save the child in that situation, like his correct thing he shows there, because it wasn't easy to take situation of which you didn't expect. So yeah, I admired him the way what he did. He did right.
Dishal's reaction to preventing the whole kidnapping scenario is absolutely phenomenal. It just goes to show that if you are vigilant, that the kidnappings can be stopped. We just need to be more vigilant and aware of our surroundings.
Being a martial artist has had a huge impact in my life, because I think had I not been, maybe the situation would have been a bit different. But at that moment, it was the only thing that went through my mind, was just react, save, protect. You know, crime is obviously a big thing in South Africa, but it has put me on more alert. So going to a mall, I'll watch where my kids are. I'd rather have them both in a trolley and push them. And if someone distracts me, I'll first look where the kids are and then talk to the person. Don't live in a world of paranoia, live in a world of awareness, and you'll be okay.
And also, us regular people with two left feet want to know how. Sensei Norman, as a belief.
Some of the techniques that parents can definitely teach their children is not to accept the status quo, right? Not to accept that all adults have good intent. So the first thing is, don't accept if anything unnatural is happening to you. First thing is, go super lame, be impossible to deal with, be difficult to deal with, be loud, attract attention, right? If they are old enough, teach them how to scratch, teach them how to bite, teach them how to resist.
Mom, help, help, help!
If someone grabs your wrist, try and get that grip off your hand. Bite that hand, scratch, scream, drop to the ground, you know, hold on to their legs so they can't walk, right? If they're trying to hold you tight, be as soft as you can so you can slip through the grips. Top self techniques or moves or methods of preparation that I would focus on is mental preparation, being able to give yourself the best opportunity to make a good decision. I feel that it's very valuable to learn self-defense technique in the context of consistent training. Unfortunately, to develop a habit, you need repetitive training over an extended period of time. Physically condition you, right, to get a little bit more tougher, a little bit more resilient, a bit more mentally strong, right? So if someone does grab you or someone does try to attack you, that you have the mental fortitude and the resilience to actually make a decision, you know, to do something about your environment. Of course, joining a school with great coaches that understand how the world works and apply realistic self-defense or martial arts techniques to your environment, and then understanding what a weapon possibly is, because a weapon goes a really long way in terms of a knife or a pen or a handbag or just your hands, and then being absolutely aware of what's going on in your environment, understanding what you can see and what you can't see and what doesn't feel natural around you.
Us! I hope kids and adults alike are practicing these moves at home. Something as small but loud as a scream could save your life.
The protocol to report a person missing: you have to immediately go to the police station. You have to produce a recent photo. It has to be a hard copy. You also have to give full details of the last whereabouts of the missing person. If you don't know how to report a missing person, you're more than welcome to phone Missing in SA for guidance on how to report a missing person. One thing I do want to stress is not to put all your details out on social media when somebody is missing, because somebody will phone in and ask for a ransom. I also want to warn all the beautiful young ladies out there that are going for job interviews. If it looks too good to be true, it normally is.
And if you don't have the moves, you could just fake them. My brother's instincts were on point. His moves did the things that needed to be done. Shayala Nanjayami.